we start. Hello, everybody. Subject of today is contracts, which might sound very boring, and usually it is. I hope this subject can be somehow more entertaining today, especially because it won't be about laws, commas, and paragraphs and documents. It will be about the way we conceive the deals with our suppliers and our customers. And so, okay, let me just start the timer. Voila, I have my own, so redundancy is the key for safety. The clicker doesn't work. Nothing works. You have another one, right? OK, fine. Now, you listened to Strazzullo's keynote this morning, and a few of his conclusions today will be somehow repeated today. There is a significant overlap between our sessions, and so it's nice because something that it already prepared for me, actually unintendedly, some of his conclusions will be useful for us to understand what I will mean today. So we have to start from what is value, okay? So the point is, if we want to shape agreements that are defending the value of the collaboration, then we have to understand what value is. I recommend the reading of The Art of Business Value by Mark Schwartz. I will send the bibliography if you want. If you write me on LinkedIn, I will be happy to help you reading the right books for these subjects. So, I mean, the overall agile message is about value. Have you ever heard about this? Have you ever heard about it? We should be value-centered and blah, blah, blah. OK, but if we don't define what value is, what's the point of this discussion? OK, so let's start with asking a few questions. Let's say, Roberto. Yeah, you. Would you prefer, there is no trick, there is no, basically it's just a simple question. It might sound too simple, but it's just a simple question. Would you prefer 10 kilograms of gold as a gift or 100 kilograms of gold as a gift?
100.
100, right? Yeah, I'm just repeating for the sake of the video. OK, fine. So you prefer 100 kilograms of gold. Everybody's agreeing or not? I see. I mean, I would expect more commitment, but yeah? No, I mean, now. So don't make it too complicated. OK, fine. Now, Roberto, again, would you prefer, let's suppose there is no problems with mafia or there is no problem with, I mean, would you prefer 10 villas as a gift or 100 villas as a gift? Today.
100.
100, yeah, but you needed to think a little longer about it. Would you all agree with this answer? Someone says no. I don't want to understand why, but you see that the audience starts splitting. A few ones say no, and most of you say yes. This is interesting, probably because the ones that answered no are thinking about the hassle of managing 99 houses on top of mine, or the hassle of selling 90 or 99 houses. I mean, it becomes subjective. Now, you said yes, you would prefer 100 villas, okay? And have you ever bought a house, an apartment, sorry? And did you require a mortgage? Yes, fine. So we all agree that mortgages are a usual tool to buy houses. Do you agree? Fine. So, Roberto, would you prefer as a gift 10 mortgages or 100 mortgages?
Are you crazy? 0.
This is not a gift, right? Yeah, I mean, we all agree with him, right? OK, fine. So this is enough to start thinking about value, decoupling value from what is needed to create value. Do you get the point? Gold is something that we want in infinite demand. Mortgage is something that we need, but we don't want. And this is enough in lean thinking to draw a line between value and waste. Because everything that is not value in lean thinking is waste. So we need something but that is still waste, even if we need it. But let me digress for a moment. In Italian, we say prenderla larga, okay? So let's ask Alessandro. Imagine a refueling stop session, okay? So since the moment you see the red light turning on, and the moment you start again, you resume your trip, your journey. Can you give me 6 or 7 steps that are defining this experience, please?
Okay, so I see the line.
The light, okay?
Right. Then I travel.
Sorry, is the microphone recorded so I don't need to repeat it? Okay, fine.
Then I travel for another 50 kilometers.
Okay, why?
Then I try to go to the closest station.
Yeah,
And I open my door.
yeah,
Turn around the car.
yeah,
Take out my card.
yeah,
Pay.
yeah,
And then go to the pump.
yeah.
Choose the amount.
Yeah, it was 5 or 7, so...
Okay. Well, then I refuel the car and go home.
Okay, cool. So what's the event? If we call those events a la event storming, what is the event which is creating the most value for you?
Refueling the car.
Refueling the car. Nice. So if we take this series, detecting low fuel level, choosing the best gas station, pump chosen, amount prepaid, tank refilled, and journey resumed, we could say that the most value-creating event is the tank refilled.
Well, also journey resumed helps, but yeah, I can't get the journey resumed without refueling.
I love this point. I love this point. So actually, do you see what he's doing? So basically, we're saying if the tank refilled is value, it would be equivalent to saying that we want as many tanks filled as we could have, like gold in the previous question that we asked Roberto. But instead, we want to have our journeys with the least gasoline, with the least refueling, with the least tanks. And actually, the value of the overall gasoline station stop experience is in something that is not in the experience itself. Actually, no part of the refueling at the gas station is actually equivalent. It's creating the value, but it's not equivalent to the value that we're seeking for. The value that we're seeking for when we stop at a refueling station is the journey. We want autonomy. We want range, trip range. We want the longest range we can get. And that means that we want the least refueling, we want the least gas stations, we want the least stop, and we want the least cars, tanks. Everything is just not value in itself. It's a means to an end. So, is the code you write every day, is it a gold or a mortgage? I want the answer of the silent people. According to what we just said, code is an asset or is a mortgage? For the same problem solved, do we want 10 lines of code or 1 million lines of code? I love this silence. I crave this silence. So, where is the value? Is infrastructure gold or a mortgage? For the same automation gotten, do we want more servers, more Lambda functions, more AWS instances, whatever, or the least? Who said depends? AWS. From where? From what, sorry? On what, sorry? It depends on what?
What you're trying to do. If you're an infrastructure provider, for example, you want more. If you
want more infrastructure sold. This is a good point. You don't want infrastructure built and staying there without selling it, right? Yep. So the value is in the selling, and the infrastructure is the tool that you use to sell something, some value. Do you see the point? I mean, this might sound too subtle, but actually is the key point of today's session of mine. So, a user story is gold or mortgage? A backlog. Now you're all agreeing. Okay, fine. Now, do you know this diagram? This is called the so-called business model canvas, okay? So, here we have the value proposition, which is the reason why the customer segment pay us some value. It can be money, but not always money, okay? Fine. Coding, infrastructure, configuration, writing, everything that you do as a verb is here in the key activity or in the key resource. It's not the value that they're buying. And understanding this once for all would be enough to give a meaning to this session today. So, first of 4 conclusions, and please, sorry, the audio's out. This is the first of 4 rounds, so it was amazingly on time. Sorry, the coup de théâtre didn't get out. So, value is not in what we do, but in what we get, okay? So the value of fashion photographs is not the paper and the shooting and the time you spend shooting the photographs, but it's in brand awareness or increased leads or increased conversion. And so it is with the software or any digital asset that we work on, because it's not an asset. Let's go on. So basically, if we can translate this as value is not what we do, but what we get. Do you remember the WYSIWYG acronym in the 90s? So it's something like the WYSIWYG. And fine, so in Italian we can say lavoro nobilita l'uomo. Most of the people here in the room can understand this statement, but we can translate it in English as the work ennobles man, which is it didn't age quite well, this statement. Actually, we could say a person, okay, gets ennobled by work. But to me, this is complete bullshit. To me, work is something that has to be minimized in order to create the most value for the same amount of effort. And actually, this is pure bullshit, this is an image that for Italian people will tell a lot. But so basically, it's equivalent, it's a graphical way in Italian to say it's pure bullshit. So, paying for a worker's time, then, it's bullshit. Because actually we are giving money for something that is not equivalent to the value produced by that developer, that worker, that copywriter, that DevOps, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I mean, for the same problem solved, would you like someone to work 3 hours or 6 hours? 3 hours, right? Would you prefer 10 kilograms of gold or 100 kilograms of gold? Fine, that it's enough to show once for all that time is not the value of a work. Checked. Let's go for the second argument. Do you know what it is? Umarell. Umarell is an Italian word. It's a Bologna dialect word that means someone usually in retirement age looking to work in progress in the street and nastily judging the way they work. Okay? Fine. This one. And the pose is the position of the hands is the key point. So, if we sell the time, we end up having customers judging the way we work, because actually they are buying our time, and so they will question the time we give them, okay? And so they will start, so can you please just stop writing tests and start delivering features? Or can you please stop refactoring and delivering features? Can you please stop holding retrospectives and delivering features? Can you please stop doing what I don't understand and please deliver features? But it's not their job to understand our job. Though, it's their job to pay us for the value we deliver, which is not coding, holding retrospectives, filling backlogs, and blah, 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 blah. So, second statement, if we sell our time, we lose the freedom to work the way we want. You can be more free, I don't know. You can get more freedom if you stop selling your time, even keeping all the rest the same. You don't need to change your profession. You don't need to change your skills. You don't need a camper van lifestyle. You just need to stop selling your time, one way or another, or reduce the impact of selling time in your risk portfolio. So, and instead, we keep on asking, we keep on granting our clients and our customers the right to question the way we spend our time. It's in their right if they buy our time. Stop complaining if your customers don't understand what you do, because otherwise they wouldn't need to pay you for doing what you do. But if you convert what you know how to do, if you convert what you know how to do into time for them, they will question the way you use your time. Second argument, done. Now, let me play a game, because value it's even worse. We will play a game that is called a dollar auction, which was created by Shubik, an economist working in the 70s, that today we could call the franc auction, but actually we will call the euro auction, okay? Because I have a euro. So the rules are very simple, and I expect you to play, because there is a return of investment for you for playing this game with me. Now, the rules are, €1 is the subject of the auction. The auction starts from 5 cents. You may raise, please, just to make it easier, multiples of 5, okay? And you cannot raise more than 20 cents just to keep the game long enough. Otherwise, we don't get the fun. We play for having fun. And the best offer, as in a traditional auction, wins the euro. Quite easy, right? This is like buying a euro on eBay. Still, in the euro auction, me, as the auctioneer, I also get the second best offer. Do you get it? It's very easy. Now, let's play. So, who wants a euro for 5 cents? It's 95 cents net income. Okay, Marco Consolaro, okay, you get this euro for 5 cents. Who offers 10? 10 for Alessandro. This is an inside trading. So is there anybody offering 15 cents? 15 cents. Anybody offering 20 cents? 20 cents. Anybody offering 25 cents? 25. Anybody offering 30? 30 cents, 30 cents. 40, okay. Anybody is offering 50? 50. Okay, this is nice, because actually you are paying 50 cents to get 1 euro. If all our investments had these return of investments, we will all be happier, I can grant you. But anybody is offering 55? 55 cents. 55 cents for Roberto. Okay, fine. So basically, from this point on, I'm getting €1.05 for 1 euro. It starts getting interesting for me. So who's offering 60 cents? It's 60 cents? 70. 70 cents? Okay, cool. 70 cents. Who's offering 80? 80. Who's offering... Wait. Okay, now, you're offering 90 cents to get 1 euro, and it still makes perfect, rational sense. 80. You 80. Now, Roberto is paying 80 cents to get nothing. 95 cents to be paid to get 1 euro, it could be a nice... still you get above the line. Would you offer 95 cents? 91, no, it's multiples of 5, sorry. 95. 95. Now, this is nice, because actually, now, Marco is paying 90 cents to get nothing, or he could offer 1 euro to get 1 euro. Which is best?
1 euro.
His answer is the rational one in these local conditions. Cool. Now, you are offering 95 cents to get nothing, or you might offer 1 euro and 5 cents to get, at least you lose 5 cents rather than 95. What do you do? 1 and 5, right? Okay, Marco, now you can offer 110. Let's remember, fearless. He's fearless. You're in a bad situation, Roberto. Marco is fearless and offers 1 euro and 10 because he wants to lose 10 cents rather than 1 whole euro. Would you agree with him? I would agree with him. Now, what do you do? 1 euro and 15? Okay, we stop it, because otherwise it gets too dangerous. Actually, Shubik in the early 70s discovered that American people in his random pool with people that didn't know that they were taking part to an experiment ended up, on average, offering $3.84 for $1, which may sound amazingly wrong, right? And I know that the most of you, especially those who stayed silent, are thinking, yes, those stupid people that got into the auction. Okay, nice. But now I want you to reflect on a very familiar situation that at least this time most of you have experienced in the past, which is, have you ever waited I mean, let's suppose there is a bus stop next to your house, next to your apartment, okay? And you need to go somewhere that it takes 20 minutes to reach by walking, okay? 20 minutes by walking. Now, you wait for the bus, and you know the bus takes 5 minutes to get at the same place, and you need at most 5 minutes to wait the bus, because actually the bus passes by every 5 minutes. Do you get it? So 5 minutes, the maximum waiting time, then 5 minutes for reaching the place. Okay, whatever. Okay, fine. So it's 10 minutes against 20. I mean, I wait for the bus, right? Now, 7 minutes, 8 minutes have passed, and the bus hasn't passed yet. What do? You wait for the bus, or you go by walking? I mean, the longer you wait, the easier and the more probable will be that the bus passes by, right? So you wait 10 minutes, and the bus is not there yet. Still, it makes sense to wait for the bus, because, I mean, 10 minutes waiting time plus 5 minutes, it's still 15 minutes. I mean, it would take 20 minutes starting from now. So, I mean, I wait for the bus. And then 15 minutes passes by. And now you are left with the same amount of time going with the bus, 15 waiting time, 5 bus time, which is equivalent to the time that you would have taken if you had chosen to go by walking in the first place. But still, if you start walking now, it will be 50 minutes plus 20, so it's 35 minutes. So you get a strong incentive to wait the bus anyway, right? Have you ever felt like this? Have you ever been in this situation at least once in your life? I mean, if you're from Rome, you are in this situation every time you get a bus. Please appreciate the self-irony. But I mean, okay. If it sounds like too much about people with bad public transport, places with bad public transports, then you might think about tenders. Do you know what a tender is? A tender is when someone it could be the Olympic Games ceremony committee ask agencies to create the website, okay? So basically there is a race between providers, okay? So basically every agency prepares the offer, and then those offers get compared, and the best one gets chosen to prepare the website for the new Olympic Games, okay? Have you ever seen this situation? Okay, this is a dollar auction again. Because actually, the more you prepare the offer, the more likely it gets accepted, but if you get at the second place, you get nothing. Exactly like Roberto or Marco if they had kept on bidding on the euro. And I mean, tenders are quite common, aren't them? Have you ever raced in a tender? Have you ever participated? And you knew that all the work that you've done to prepare the tender is basically wasted work if you don't win. But still, you get an incentive to invest more. And this is a very bad situation called escalation of commitment, which is a problem according to the way we organize the work according to the way we organize contracts nowadays. Now, bus stops, tenders. Now, the point is that locally reasonable decisions can destroy global value. Exactly as defending my loss of €1 by bidding €1.10 for €1 is a locally rational decision that actually creates an economy that requires you to pay €1.10 to get €1, which is completely pointless. But that's what happens, for example, with tenders. And now, this is enough to tell that value has another problem. It has a systemic nature in which the value of what we do depends on what they do, which basically makes the value a concept which is very unstable. Let me just go deeper into that. Do you know this on page? If we accept that value as a systemic nature, then we have to understand that the system doesn't end with the boundaries of our organization. Actually, the others, so Marcos Roberto could be someone inside your company. Let's see this example. So this is the promise that Netflix delivers, seeing something new on any device and canceling anytime. This is where they got me. This is the reason why I pay them intermittently, okay? So I'm interested in a series, fine, and then I cancel the subscription, and then, okay, I love this reversibility. Fine. Now, I was looking for this series, The Handmaid's Tale. Have you ever watched it? It's a very interesting series. We don't get into details now, but the point is that in Italy, it was only streamed by Team Vision, and you could read on the homepage, you cancel whenever you want, even online. Now, if I were as smart as someone might think, and I never told you anything about it, this even online should have raised an alarm. Even online, I mean, even only online. I mean, it's an online service, so what does it mean, even online? Okay, fine. But I'm a very candid person, so yeah, the competition got it right. Finally, also, Italian streaming services too can be canceled anytime with no strings attached. Now, at the very moment of inserting the credit card, we could read. Let me translate. In case you don't want to use the service anymore, you could use the cancellation form, which, I mean, still it's, what do Netflix's lawyers know that they don't know in Team Vision? For them to allow me to cancel the subscription with just one click online, and instead here I have to send a fax? But then there is a sort of there is an amazing masterpiece of law narrative in Italian history, which is the and or. This is and or. I mean, what's the point? I mean, what about? I mean, this is strange even for Italian standards of precision. Okay, and then I love this modulo del ripensamento. It's very hard to translate this. It's like after the second thought form. But you have to notice the capital R, it's like a sacrament. So basically, have you been wed? Have you been married anytime? No, I just got the ripensamento. What the I mean, okay, fine. And so you see, basically we have value that the marketing team is desperately trying to create for the audience under the pressure of huge competition from Netflix. And then another team, I'm not discussing the individuals here, okay? I'm discussing the system. And so probably this legal team had some KPI, some incentive, some reward to be too protective, to be too formal, and actually having not only one customer less, Jacopo Romei, but, because I never ended this procedure, actually, and actually I think you should appreciate the lucidity by which I screenshotted everything while I was doing this, but also, they got an actively disengaged customer, because actually now it's been a few years talking about this to audiences, and actually everybody has to know this. I mean, this was like this. What is the point of developing software, or what is the point if they don't talk to each other and they don't understand that the common goal is to basically create value as a system, which means in an ecological way, which might sound too fluffy, it might sound a little bit hippie, but actually it's the truth. Engineers in the room, please accept that value as a subjective, as we saw, and systemic nature that has to be accepted to become rich. I hope you appreciate this conclusion. If we understand the nature of value, we can exploit the nature and start becoming rich for real. For example, stopping doing something like this when you're trying to do this way, something like this. Now, despite our need for order and structure, we need to mitigate the separation between silos, okay? This is something you have heard about many times. But now we understand the rationale. Actually, we want to dismantle the separation among silos, because actually it means reducing the chances to deliver real value to the real market for real money. And once we have cross-functional teams, we need to give them goals that reflect the holistic nature of value. What? Let me rephrase it. Basically, what I'm saying is that working agreements should allow for fluid team to be assembled, reassembled, so that we can express the value where it's needed, when it's needed, anytime it's needed. Have you ever heard about team topology? That area, that topic, please If you've never heard about it, go deeper into it. So, the last thing that we can say about this third point is that, as Frederick Brooks, the author of the Mythical Man Month, said in a very famous conference that we can still listen to on an MP3, a very famous MP3, is that what you actually want is as little collaboration as you can get away with. Collaboration, again, it's not the value. In the agile context, in the agile scenario, we insist a lot on collaboration as a value per se. False. If I can get everything done alone, it's fine. The problem is that usually I'm not enough. And so I have to learn the way to collaborate. But collaboration is not the end, it's a means. You can ask all the coaches that tell you that collaboration is something that is enough to create wealth. You can ask them to shut up, because actually it's not true. Collaborating and being happy together won't be enough to create the wealth we need when we are working. So, it doesn't work. Now, the last point for the last few minutes. We got left 7 minutes, right? 10 minutes, okay, cool. Now, this is the typical reaction of people being asked to know what is the value of their work. I mean, are you a developer? You are a developer. Do you know what is the value of your work every hour you spend for your company?
Not always, no.
Yeah, not always. It's a very wise answer. Now, when people hear me, listen to these speeches, listen to these arguments, actually this is the reaction. We're like, oh, I cannot estimate, I don't know it. So actually there is an emotional response before the rational response. And the problem is that it's very hard, actually it's true, it's very hard to know what is the value of our delivery. And that is why we fall back to time pricing. Because actually, timing is objective, more or less, unless we go into relativity paradigm, which is usually not the case for human beings coding. And it's very hard to say, well, I am worth as much, or I'm worth like this. Now, I have this is one of my most recent findings in this research that is lasting now 10 years or so. So, just because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I'm reading, doesn't mean you can't measure it. You just need to decide which beholders you care about and then ask them to rate it for you. Here's the thing. When something is experienced subjectively, you can come up with an objective metric for it. But you can still measure it by speaking with the subjects who matter, also known as the key stakeholders or the key users. And like beauty, value is subjective. Now, these words are by Jonathan Stark. He is an ex-developer talking a lot about the value of contracts and blah, blah, blah. But actually, the point is, the morale is that we can always measure value for our relevant subject. It doesn't matter if it's not objective. It's enough that it is measured by those who use it, those who get it, those who pay for it. And usually, to do this, we need UX to define the value of what we're doing. UX research, or researchers, are the developers' best friends. Instead of using the UX researchers as a counterpart, use them, if there are developers in the room, or as UX researchers, use developers to get concrete value out of your research. But actually, the system of UX plus dev is what starts smelling like a systemic view of value that we are talking about today. Stop selling development as a standalone activity and stop selling UX as a standalone activity. Because UX alone gives reports which are not actionable, and development alone is under the huge risk to deliver functionalities that no one cares about. So actually delivering no value. What? Standing ovation. Thank you. So start selling instead effective solutions for real needs of the real user. So end-to-end. Team Vision didn't fix my end-to-end need to watch a series. They promised the service. They promised the value, but they didn't deliver the value. And this is the last point for today. Now, any question? Alessandro, wait for the microphone.
There's one concept that is not really clear to me because time is still relevant for the person that is evaluating the value. So, for example, if you ask me, oh, you want 10 kilograms of gold or 100 kilograms of gold?
Yeah.
Correct. The natural answer is I want 100 kilograms. But if you ask me, do you want 10 kilograms of gold or 100 kilograms of gold in 100 years?
Yeah.
Then it changes a lot for me.
Absolutely.
Because the time is still relevant. So there's this time dimension that is still persisting in these contracting. So how do you take that into account when you're dealing with it?
In the example that you give us, the timing here is the elapsed time for the delivery. And actually, I'm pretty sure that you intend that the more time you wait, the least the value of the delivery, the lesser the value of the delivery, right? So, I mean, this is an argument to say that the time is not value. Actually, if we add time, we remove value, right? Do you follow me? So again, once again, time per se, time waited is not value. Still, time could be required. As we require gasoline to travel, we might require time to do something, obviously. And that might be something that creates scarcity and enhances the value of something. If we have to wait 3 years for Parmigiano to be ready, I mean, Parmigiano price goes higher, okay? But still, that is because we don't know another way to create the same flavor for the same Parmigiano. Otherwise, and just, I mean, do you think the value of artificial intelligence is in about delivering something that is just automated for fun, or delivering something without waiting to spend my brain time while I think about something else, so saving time? I mean, this is not the audience to which I have to clarify the value of automation and the value of time, because actually all of us in this room, we are selling a single value proposition, which is saving brain time while the silicon thinks about the boring parts. Now, another question, Marco. I mean, at this point, it's clear that I have paid these two people to hold the stage. I mean, thanks.
Yeah,
this is inside.
Great talk. I was laughing because I heard the story already. It was really fun.
One last question, but then the time is up.
My question is simple. How do you feel the element of trust impacting value? Because to me, this is the real problem of the world of today, that no one trusts anyone, just because there are too many situations like the one you show us, a website that tell you, you can do this, and then instead you can't. And this is detrimental at a wide systemic level.
Absolutely. Now, have you understood the question? So basically saying trust is at stake in the collaborations, and the less trust you have, the hardest is to establish an healthy collaboration. Is it true? This is true, absolutely. I think that trust is the currency of collaborations. Actually, when negotiations, when there is trust, are completely different. I could deliver many examples, but we don't have time. I have to rush. Let me just state that exactly because we believe this is true, we need agreements that are that can enable us to create at least a trust zone around us. We don't need to change the world before we have changed our entourage. Do you agree? no one of you can serve the whole market on the planet. And which is, from this point of view, is good news. You just need to change the customers around you. How many customers do you have? 15, 50, 100? I mean, it's doable. You can only work with people that understand your message, and you can incrementally replace bad customers with good customers. It doesn't have to happen in one day all at once. To help you with this, though, I can suggest this book. This is an Italian book, so in the paper version, the English or international version is coming, but the international version of the Telegram pills is coming up, okay? So you get a paragraph or section of the book every day via Telegram, every morning, and I'm validating the international edition of the book this way, and it's going to be very cheap for the next 26 left instances, and you can get the discount with this QR code. Thank you. You find me on LinkedIn, from MySpace to TikTok, you find me everywhere, and you can write me on LinkedIn, any question being left or whatever. Thanks a lot.